from 2014. It is understandable that a weak mind may vacillate between positions because a reasonable argument may be made for either position. And so a kiwi jihadist who went to Syria and burned his passport declaring he was joining the ISIS caliphate has now decided life is better in New Zealand. But what will happen if the weak-minded fool is not welcomed back with open arms? Will he keep beheading innocent peoples to satisfy the demands of his current leader? He has apparently remarked that the peoples he has terrorized don't need a caliphate so much as aid. Obama is sending aid to the Middle East and sending troops to Africa to deal with the Ebola epidemic. Maybe some senior general in the armed forces can sit down with Obama and point out the difference between troops and aid. Obama proudly declared many times he withdrew troops from Iraq. Now he doesn't know where they have all gone. Perhaps the Navy can help him look for them. Humor aside, everyone should be concerned that Obama is lying, downplaying the size and cost of engagement with ISIS. It is understandable that a weak mind may vacillate between positions because a reasonable argument may be made for either position. Dr. Karl Kruszelnicki denies science which evaluates AGW hysteria. The raw data points to the computer models being wrong. This confuses Dr. Karl, who really wants the computer models to be right. Maybe we can find a planet for Dr. Karl where the models are correct and where he can stay. Meanwhile, a wind farm kills koalas as trees they rely on for food are cut down to place a wind farm which does nothing to combat global warming. There is a possibility the wind farms will cut down more rare birds than it will kill koalas. Maybe someone will take odds. Good news for AGW alarmists as China cuts back on coal. Bad news for Australia as her income will be cut for it. Being dumb does not excuse bigotry and makes the opinion expressed easily dismissed. But one particularly dumb bigot has spoken out in a Hanson-esque performance. He is married to an ethnically Asian girl but wants Australia to limit people from places he deems to be undesirable. Luckily, much smarter people than he have decided that it doesn't matter where people come from, but how they behave. This adult view is at odds with the Australian Labor Party position that says it is desirable to import people who might be fooled into voting for them as quid pro quo. Meanwhile, a supermarket advertises a special on artichokes of 2 for $4 or pay the premium price of $1.40 each. It would be worth paying extra and getting all of them individually wrapped for sale. Telcos historically charge outrageously, but complaints are up 27.2% in 2014 in Australia in relation to data charges. One mobile phone user has been charged $36,225, but got the charges dropped after pointing out they could not possibly have accrued it. Another user was charged $76,103 and are disputing it. Maybe a compromise in order. The telco could discount calls by 10%. More Australians self-identifying as Aboriginal mean fewer bush Aborigines get aid. Thing is that city folk do not suffer as country folk do, having access to more resources like hospitals, police, housing, electricity, running water, and education. Maybe be better to not label people by race, but to address needs. Maybe not. And Abbott overreaches on an apartheid constitution referendum, which he promises will be soon. Detail is needed, but in general a reasonable person will oppose it. Reasonable is no way to describe former Prime Minister Rudd. Rudd was the richest politician ever to be in Parliament. Rudd negotiated a rort he expected Mr. Abbott to give him. Mr. Abbott hasn't, merely restricting Rudd to a standard package for former PMs. Also in the corruption market is the AFL using AFL resources to campaign over a mine. But the mine in question has nothing to do with the sport. AWU calls for exemptions to them on the RET, but the RET is a bad tax that needs to be cancelled for everybody. Finally, a schoolgirl who got a Virginity Rocks t-shirt at a Christian convention is not allowed to wear it at school. Alternative goth-style shirts are available should she interest herself in acceptable school fashion.